Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Hey y'all, we need to talk real quick about these new tariffs because this isn't computing. If you thought things were bad, buckle up because Presidente Fat Bastardo, Donald Trump, just took another sledgehammer to the economy. Today, he announced tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada because nothing says stable economy like a trade war that no one asked for. And some of y'all are acting really shocked, like this isn't the same man who pulled this stunt before. It's giving, tell me you voted for Donald Trump without telling me you voted for Donald Trump. But I digress. Here's the rundown. Canada and Mexico will now have a 25% tariff on their imports, and China will have a 10% tariff on their imports. And a whole lot of people about to be real upset at the grocery store checkout. Now, what does that mean for you? Because let's be clear, this is not a win for America. This is a tax. You are the one paying for it, not China, not Mexico, not Canada. When these tariffs hit, the companies are not going to absorb the cost. No ma'am, no sir. Those price increases are coming straight to you at checkout. But first, check out these TikToks and there will be commentary at the end. Let's go.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy. A decision that, should they elect to proceed with, should take effect on Tuesday, February 4th. Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery stores and gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing.
The White House says President Trump has just signed 3 executive orders imposing tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China. 25% for items from Canada and Mexico and 10% on items from China. Consumer experts say Americans will see price increases on many items as businesses pass along the increase in costs.
About 63% of all of our vegetables come from Mexico. When we look at, fruit and nuts, about 50% comes from there. If we take a look at our meat that comes from Canada, this is not something that's going to have a good effect for consumers anytime soon.
President Trump says he's using tariffs to level the playing field and usher in what he calls a new era of growth and prosperity for America.
Y'all waking up this morning to a 25% tax on your toys, your electronics, your fresh produce, lumber, and cars. 10% tax if it's coming from China. Y'all don't think this is, you're not going to feel this? In what universe do you not, does someone not pass on their cost to you? Tell me what universe. And would you, as a business owner, if I increased your cost by 25% or 10%, you're not passing that on to your customers? Are you just going to eat it? You're going to increase your cost to run your business by that percentage or more and not pass it on? That's how the economy works. And the folks in the White House think you are ignorant enough to believe that you're not going to feel this, that our economic community is not intertwined. We are as much a part of the economy of Mexico and Canada as they are of ours.
American consumers and businesses, they import more goods from Mexico than any other country. Like, that's been in all of the reporting. And to be clear, some people will say, some critics of the critics will say, well, they can just find other sources. But for people that do not have alternatives, if there's not another alternative to sourcing your materials or your whatever the good is from Mexico or Canada, they'll just be forced to pay.
And the impact of this, as in all things, trickles down. And the folks who are going to be hurt the most, Alicia, are the poor. The people who live in the poorest communities are not going to be able to carry the weight of these tariffs. They never have throughout history.
So what do you think is their calculus? The political calculus here?
I think he thinks that they're going to fold and they're going to.
He's going to look strong.
That he's going to look strong. I do think he thinks that it's going in effect today. He thinks that Mexico and Canada are going to come to the table, probably Canada before Mexico, because Prime Minister Trudeau has literally said, like,
his
I'm out
government's
of here.
Collapsed.
Exactly. The government has collapsed. I think Sheinbaum is not playing games.
I don't think that's going to work
in
Mexico.
Well, I don't. It remains to be seen. But the fact is that he told us he was going to do this. People said, oh, I think it's just a concept. And he did it. Just like he's saying he's going to be putting tariffs on oil and gas in the next several weeks. Y'all better believe he's going to do it. My question is my Shein order going up? Not if I'm ordering Shein, but, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, and put oil and gas. You don't think the price of gas is going to go up? And they want the price of gas to go to drill, baby, drill? Seriously?
Oh.
Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy. A decision that, should they elect to proceed with, should take effect on Tuesday, February 4th. Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery stores and gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. But it doesn't have to be this way.
Donald Trump placed tariffs on Canada. Canada likewise is planning its own tariffs and plan back to the United States. And it's my understanding tops on the list is a potential 100% tariff on all Elon Musk Tesla cars and products. Let me say that again. It's my understanding that top on the list from Canada is a 100% tariff on all of Elon Musk's Tesla products sold in Canada. They also apparently have been working on detailed plans to look at Republican states and to look at products from those states and detail specific tariffs that may be pointed at those Republican members to put pressure on them and to put pressure on Trump. Don't expect Canada to lay down and to take it. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, has already spoken about how they may retaliate and reduce energy that currently electricity, etc., that is provided to much of the northern part of the United States from Canada. And likewise, as you may know, Canada produces a lot of oil and gas. Actually, 62% of our imports, foreign imports, come from Canada and from Mexico. Likewise, we've not heard from Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico. Don't think she's laying down, quivering in her boots, worrying about Donald Trump. I'm sure they've got very specific plans that they've already got. And they both are talking about no longer being reliant on the United States as a dependable trade partner, because we're not. They're looking at other countries and other parts of the world where they can get things that they need and not from the United States. Donald Trump will hurt the American citizens through his grand tariff scheme, which is only going to backfire to raise prices on the United States citizens and to cause the United States to sell fewer products to our major trading partners, which are Mexico and Canada and China, period. This is not a wise move. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. And all of you that think it's a good move, you need to do a little homework. And don't just trust Donald Trump because he said it. Oh. Can't say what I want to say. We're on TikTok.
And just like that, the Trump tariffs are officially occurring. Now, here is what is happening, and here are a few things that you might not currently know about the tariffs and how it will affect you. Number one, there is a 10% tariff that has been added to all products coming out of China. For Mexico and for Canada, there are 25% wholesale tariffs that are being placed on both countries. But for Canada, there is a 10% tariff that is being placed on their energy. It seems that Trump is recognizing that a 25% tariff on energy from Canada might affect Americans a little bit more on a bargain for. How does that affect you? The very real possibility of our grocery bills going up is something that you should start budgeting for now. For every $100 that you have in your grocery bill, add an additional $25 to that budget. And that should get you through the season that is to come. Metaphorically, the roller coaster has gotten to the very top of the ride. The point of conversation is done. The discussions are over. The tariffs are happening. We are about to go down the hill, and we better hope that this track is fully thought out. What's best for you and for me to do during this time is to strap in, take care of the people that are in your community. If you see somebody struggling and you have the means to help them, don't hesitate. Make sure you're checking up with your local charities, your local food banks. If you have a little bit of extra to give, look out for the people that are in your local communities.
Justin Trudeau, even though he resigned recently, I thought, decided that he's going to put 25% tariffs on U.S. goods. Y'all like the video and check this out.
Unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world.
Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Make sure you like the video, hit the follow button right here, follow for more, do all the things. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Hey guys, so Mexico and Canada are about to strike back against Donald Trump's tariffs. As you know, Trump today announced 25% tariffs against Mexico and Canada and an additional 10% tariff against China. Now we are just minutes away from Justin Trudeau speaking to the Canadian people about the retaliation that Canada is going to inflict upon the United States. Trudeau's press conference was initially scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Eastern, but it was then moved to 8:30 p.m. Eastern so that he could first confer with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. Here's what we know. Canada right now has a plan in place to issue tariffs and other retaliatory measures in order to impact Republican states in the United States the most. It's looking like American alcohol producers will be among the first hit when Canada retaliates. British Columbia, which is Canada's third largest province, said it will stop buying liquor made in Republican states. The government of Ontario, Canada's largest province, has indicated it is considering doing the same, and the federal government of Canada is planning to slap tariffs on U.S. liquor, including Kentucky bourbon. Much of this reporting is from the New York Times, who's had stellar live reporting on this topic tonight. And this is absolutely stunning, folks, and could completely wreck the U.S. economy. David Adams, the president of a trade group that includes the Canadian manufacturing operations of Honda and Toyota, said that these tariffs will quickly cause automakers on both sides of the border to shut down their assembly lines because the industry is so interconnected. He said, quote, "It is not a good situation." Meanwhile, the leader of Mexico's lower house of Congress, Sergio Gutierrez Luna, said that lawmakers would back up any decision made by President Claudia Sheinbaum to respond to the United States' tariffs. Meanwhile, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum wrote in a social media post that she is instructing the Secretary of the Economy to implement Plan B that she has been working on, which includes both tariffs and non-tariff measures against the United States in defense of Mexico's interests. Folks, this is getting really messy, really fast, and I'm going to be following it every step of the way. We have the leader of Canada, Justin Trudeau, about to speak. We should be finding out more details when he does, but Donald Trump just invited a world of pain into the United States economy, where if this all goes through, as it appears it is going to, there will be jobs lost, there will be market instability, the markets are going to absolutely tank. This is going to be a disaster for people trying to buy goods, trying to buy cars, trying to buy really anything from overseas. This is going to cause your prices to completely skyrocket, and Americans and people all over the world need to be aware that this is due to Donald Trump's actions. We're going to be following this story as it develops and so much more, so remember to follow us right now for all the updates.
What happens next? First things first, tariffs are just a fancy way of saying taxes on imports. But don't get it twisted, corporations aren't eating that cost. That's your job. Let's break this down so everyone understands exactly what is about to happen. Everyday goods are getting more expensive. That iPhone you were thinking about upgrading, the cost just went up. That new car you were eyeing, more expensive. Groceries, gas, yep, all of it, higher prices. Businesses are already struggling. A 25% tariff can be enough to wipe out a business's entire quarterly budget, meaning layoffs, higher prices, more business closures. Sound familiar? Yeah, because we did this before in Donald Trump's first term. Let's take a trip down memory lane. We saw this before with soybean farmers in Trump's first term. What happened? China said, nah, we're good, and took their business to Brazil. That was 8 years ago, and guess what? They never came back. Those farmers, some went bankrupt, some even took their own lives, and yet the same people still supported Donald Trump in the 2024 election. Canada and Mexico are not playing. Canada's response was especially petty, and I love it. They hit back with their own 25% tariffs, but only on red states that voted for Trump. Let me repeat that. Ohio, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, etc. You're paying more. But y'all said never Kamala, right? So now Joe Biden is looking pretty damn good to some of y'all right now. Elon Musk is going to be in trouble. Elon has been trying to finesse his way into China's EV market. The problem? Chinese electric vehicles are miles ahead of Tesla in quality and price. And now, with tariffs on the table, Elon's entire China expansion might go poof. And it couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Elon's net worth is tied to Tesla's stock, which is already shaky. If the stock tanks, his bank accounts follows. So, to all you Tesla fanboys who screamed about doing your own research while backing Trump, y'all really didn't read the fine print on how trade works, did you? The market reaction? Today is Saturday. Now let's talk about what happens Monday morning when the stock market opens. If you think gas and grocery prices are bad now, just wait. If you have stocks, you might want to go ahead and check your portfolio because some of y'all are about to lose money. Put in those limit sell orders now. This is not fear-mongering, it's predictable. The last time Trump did this, the market crashed. A lesson in voting, actions have consequences. To all those people who said they did their own research before the election, this is what you voted for. To the red states, it doesn't pay to be racist and misogynistic. Some of y'all are about to be starving and still caping for a man who does not care about you. And don't think China is about to play fair. They don't need the US anymore. Like they did decades ago, they'll take their business elsewhere, just like they did did with the soybean farmers. You wanted it, you got it. For all the undecided voters who conveniently decided that Kamala Harris just didn't feel presidential enough but could somehow see past 34 then indictments, now convictions, congrats, you played yourself. Trump's first term should have been a red flag, the only red flag you needed. But some of y'all needed to touch the stove again to really learn your lesson. You voted for this. You will suffer for it. There will be no sympathy to be found over here. 2026 is coming. What's next? Now, y'all do realize we have a midterm in 2 years, right? If you're one of the people already regretting your vote, then you don't have to wait 4 years to fix it. If Trump overreaches, which he probably already has with these 1,500 presidential executive orders, impeachment is on the table. If Democrats take back the House and Senate in 2026, Trump could be out of office before 2028. So let's see if all those undecided voters can find some common sense before the next election cycle. And one last thing, y'all do realize that ICE just magically has the budget for 40 new detention centers, but we don't have money for Medicare, Medicaid, school lunches, or infrastructure. But y'all believe the economic genius narrative, did you? I can't show sympathy for folks who refuse to use critical thinking. All I can say is, may you be comforted in your hatred. You voted for this. You supported this, now you're going to feel it. And to all the folks who saw the train coming and got off the tracks, I suggest you grab your popcorn, a little wine, sit back and watch the MAGA meltdown in real time, especially in those red states as they pay higher prices. Because one thing about karma, she always arrives on schedule. Welcome to the tariff games, dear. May the odds never be in your favor.
Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.